Greetings from Berkeley, California. I'm Malcolm Easton, and this is my second show with Walker Fine Art. Again, I've been fortunate to share the gallery with a number of very talented artists. I'd like to tell you about my work, which begins with my interest in collecting things. In recent years, I've been gathering domestic objects that I find at thrift stores and estate sales. And here's an example of some of the things that I collect. Here you can see that I've chosen objects from a variety of sources. You see some things that belong in the kitchen, some things that might belong in a workshop or a garage, some things that are meant for play, and some things that are meant for decoration. And all of these objects belong to someone. I don't know who they belong to, but I know that they've been well used, and I know that they meant something to the people who own them because I can see from the evidence that they have been handled many times. Here you can see that I've put together a number of different objects, and these objects have different physical traits. There's wood in here, there's glass, metal, and all these traits contrast with each other. And for me, this makes the objects each stand out as physical things, real things, and I'm interested in the way that the reality of these objects contrasts with the fantastical nature of the arrangements. Here's another example where I'm mixing my materials. There's a little blue balloon in the back there. There's a bristly ball on top and the strawberry at the bottom, which is an artificial strawberry, has its own little knobby texture. I want to tell you something about my lighting technique, which is entirely based on natural light. And here you can see I'm holding a small mirror in front of a window of my studio. And that mirror is catching a light beam that's coming through the window. I use that light beam to light up my arrangements for photography. This light beam is fairly narrow, and what I can do is aim it at a part of an object, and so I can light up one part and leave the other part darker. And I'll just show you as I click through different examples of how I'm moving the light from one part of the object to another. And you can see that I can have quite a bit of control over the lighting through this handheld mirror. But on the other hand, since it is a handheld mirror, it's difficult to reproduce something once I've done it. So it's interesting to me that I'm creating something that has certain elements of the unpredictability as well as the possibility of discovering something about the image that I hadn't realized when I started out. Here's an example of another way that I use the handheld mirror. In this case, I have an object that's actually moving. This implement on the top that's swinging and twisting. And what I'm doing with the mirror is I'm flashing it across the object as it moves. So the light beam has caught this in two different positions during the time of the exposure. And that's how I create a double exposure for this swinging object. And it's a way that I can make my still lifes not still anymore. This is one more example of how I use the flashing of the mirror across the object while it's moving. The balloon was bobbing around in air currents, and during the time of the exposure, I was able to sweep the mirror 4 or 5 times. And so I caught the balloon at all these different positions and created this rather strange image. Thanks for watching. And if you'd like to see more of my work, please check out the Walker Fine Art website.